out. Stepping inside Colonel Sanders' home, surrounded by his things, you start to feel a special bond with him. It looks like you live such exciting life, Colonel Sanders. Every day can be an adventure, if you approach it with the right attitude. Long ago I made the decision to never stop searching, never stop working, never stop imagining. Have you been working on any new recipes of your own lately? I'm always excited to talk about food with another ambitious chef. Well, there is something. It's just a side dish that I've been tinkering with, trying to find the right balance of flavors and textures. I'm not sure I've nailed it yet, but I'm close. Colonel Sanders' eyes perk up as he starts to wonder what dish he might be describing. It's meant to pair with something spicy or something crispy. Both, perhaps. Now you've got him right where you want him. Should you reveal your new creation to him, or keep it a secret just for you? You decide that you're ready as you'll ever be to share your original cooking with Colonel Sanders. Before you can talk yourself out of it, you decide to dive in head first. You reach into your lunch bag for a special dish that you've been keeping on ice all day. I present to you my original coleslaw. The shredded cabbage dish glistens with the light of Colonel Sanders' luxe hideaway. Magnificent! Together you chow down on the creamy slaw until just a spoonful remains in the bowl. Do you mind if I hold on to the last bite? I'd like to have it around so that I could admire its taste later and think back on this moment. You could offer to make him more, but he seems like a very sentimental kind of guy. Sure, why not? Please, make yourself comfortable. I'll be back in just a moment. You realize now that it would be the perfect time to do some snooping. Around the room there are various items that you can look closer at. Each item seems to radiate memories and emotions. Tap an item to discover more about the Colonel. What's this? A lock of silver hair is woven through the teeth of the comb. Upon further inspection, you realize the hair therein isn't just silvery in color. It's actually made of spun silver. Tap on an item to discover more. This photo appears to be Colonel Sanders, except he's an old man visiting the pyramids of Egypt. Maybe this is where he discovered one of his secret herbs and spices. An adorable little baby crawls across the floor from the goatee and mustache combo he sports. You figure that this must be Colonel Sanders himself. Or it's a drumstick that he seems to be waving like a rattle. Who frames a baby picture of just themselves? Probably the same person who would make their own face the logo of the company they're trying to run, alright? Tap an item to discover more about the Colonel. Scented candle, you pick it up and try to identify the smell. Power tool, freshly starched collar, piece of wood floating in a lake, summer of 69? No, it's one of the secret recipe ingredients. It's... Tap an item to discover something about the Colonel. One of the frame pictures is an old man who looks a little like Colonel Sanders standing with a friend. They hold fried chicken drumsticks and appear to be cheersing them. You look closely and see there's a short inscription. I wonder who my friend Pete is. Take a look at closer look at a large urn sitting on the nearby pedestal. There's a plaque on it. It's dusty, but when you wipe it off, you can read the inscription. It says, "Here lie the ashes of my past careers and business failures." Dark. Poor guy. Look at this photo. There must be where he keeps the secret recipe. You think for a moment, what number is important to the Colonel Sanders? Then it dawns on you. Seems to turn the dial of 111111. The safe opens. Inside you find a single note. Can chicken be prepared sashimi style? You notice a very realistic stuffed chicken sitting on the corner table. When you pick it up, you realize it isn't realistic, it's real. Taxidermy must have been important to Colonel Sanders when it was alive. A note clipped to the chicken's foot reads, "The true state bird of the great state of Kentucky." You gaze out the window across from the vast lake and the mountain range beyond. Just then the ghost of a student pops up. "Are you thinking about heading into the world on a quest to avenge my death?" Wait, what? I've never even learned your name. Why would I avenge you? I could just tell you my name right now. It's... Can you just see him in the middle of something? You open the window and crack, and the ghost of the student is swept out by the breeze. That leaves one more thing to investigate. You open the door in Colonel Sanders' closet and find a row of his signature white suits hanging within. Take one off its hanger and try it on. The jacket is a bit big for you, but it's soft and comfortable. You give yourself a deep hug, breathing in his scent. They say that the home is where the heart is. Is this what they meant? Before you can look any further, you hear Colonel Sanders returning. He has a new dish that he's been working on. He wants you to taste it. You try to act casual until he asks you why he's wearing his jacket. I don't usually loan those out, but I must say, it does look good on you. Oh, the jacket. You forgot to take it off. You tell him you're cold. I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to intrude. I just got a little cold and thought this might warm me up. Colonel Sanders smiles and scoots close to the fireplace. It's warm by the fire. Why don't you come a little closer? Suddenly, everything feels like it's moving too fast. Final exams are tomorrow. You should be thinking about what you're going to cook. I forgot. Finals. I should be home studying. Overwhelmed, you take off the jacket and run for the door. But the thought of leaving Colonel in the midst of such an emotional breakthrough gives you a pause. You stop yourself. Colonel? Yes, Chef Boyardee? I honestly think this may be the beginning of something wonderful. I think you're right. We should take things slow. We talk late into the night and drift off into a slumber. Dream sequence! Oh, you wake to a beautiful morning in Colonel Sanders' hideaway. Did you make the right decision on how to respond to Colonel Sanders? Only time will truly tell. Today is a day that could change the rest of your life. You think about a new secret ingredient that you just learned about. In some jurisdictions, it isn't even legal, but if the recipe is a secret, how will they know? Your thoughts are interrupted when Colonel Sanders emerges into the room. He's holding a gorgeously plated breakfast to your mouth and waters at the sight of it. Here's a simple breakfast I just whipped up. It's meticulous. You taste Colonel Sanders' food, it takes you on a journey. When you return, he's waiting to ask you an important question. So would you say that we're the perfect match? How presumptuous. My cuisine and your taste buds, that is. Such confidence, such grace, could you be the world's greatest gift to cookery? You know, I think we might make a great team. A single tear begins to pool in the corner of his eye as he gazes out the window. And with the right business partner, I know I can't fail. Business partner? Could he be talking to you? It's all happening so quickly. Overcome with emotion, confused by your feelings, you're on the verge of tears, unable to speak. The only answer you can find is to run out the door and get home. There's still one more day of school after all. The University Cooking School Academy for Learning waits for no one. You get home to find something very surprising. Your best friend is there waiting for you. Where have you been? Because I had one heck of a night. I've been desperate to talk to you about it, but I couldn't find you. I got worried that something bad had happened. It's okay, but now it turns out you're fine. I can finally get you up to speed on the saga of Miriam. Sure, but you will not believe what happened to me after school yesterday. I went on a date. I think I can believe that. Since I've been partnered up with Pop, he'd asked me to go out with him. Of course, I told him you'd better harness those wild horses, young man. I'm not that kind of girl. But he was just interested in spending some one-on-one time together and getting to know me. So I said, yeah, sure. I can get to know the little guy. Long story short, he took me to his favorite shush house, but things quickly spiraled out of control. Did you just say shush house as if it's the thing people just say? What's that even referring to? And now I'm not really sure where we stand. You don't give Miriam time to tell her the whole story, however, bottling up the details of your own night is just too much to bear. And I went on a date too, back to Colonel Sanders' house where I spent the night with him. You what? Nothing happened but emotional connection. Wowzers. Miriam tells you to move on from this whole Colonel Sanders session and focus on school. It's the only option. If being obsessed with Colonel Sanders is wrong, you don't want to be right. After such a short argument, you both go your separate ways. When you arrive at school, you encounter your rivals in the quad. You can tell from a distance that they're picking on Pop, though he himself might not quite grasp that fact, because you know he's Pop. What's a swirly? It sounds delicious. Oh, it's great. I'll order you one up right away. I'll have my swirly with sprinkles, please. Hee Sprinkles is a dog and a treat. You can get your swirly dipped, too. Why don't you pick on someone your own size? Because I'm literally the biggest person at the school. There's that horse that Colonel Sanders rides to school, but who would dare pick on such a gentle and beautiful creature? You've got some nerve, Chef Boyardee, suggesting I pick on a defenseless horse. Now you're twisting my words, and I won't have it. You clench your fist, but the injury from yesterday's mix arrest makes you wince with pain. Doesn't look like you can go on cooking like that. Might as well just give up. I'll never give up, ever. Colonel Sanders arrives just as it appears things are close to boiling over. A naturally intuitive person, he senses that something has been going on. Is everyone excited for the final day of school? Chef Boyardee, how's that hand feeling? I'm sure you'll be back in fighting form by this afternoon. Aren't you concerned about my hands, Colonel? Yesterday I almost broke a nail winning so hard. Technically, I don't believe a winner was decided, but your presentation was quite impressive. What is he doing, complimenting her? But what about the flavor of my delicate, warm, gooey chocolate sauce? It was clear that you're passionate about how your food is received. That's a lot of words to say it was bland. Excuse me, Chef Boyardee. I am more than capable enough to speak for myself. Maybe you can tell me more about your thoughts as we walk to class, Colonel. I'm always interested in discussing the fine art of fine foods. See you inside, Chef Boyardee. Annoyed by Colonel Sandwich's inability to see Ashley for who she really is, you walk across the quad to get some distance. In an attempt to distract yourself from how slighted you feel by the interaction with Ashley, you take out the spell book you recovered yesterday and start flipping through the pages. Whoa, that's that book. It looks like bad news. It's just something I found lying around. It would appear some sort of grimoire, but I don't really believe in magic stuff. A grimoire? Yeah, like a book of spells? I don't know. Who would spend so much time decorating a magic book if it were really powerful? I can think of a surefire way to find out. You open a page covered with arcane warnings, cast only in case of extreme emergency. It says around the edges of the page. I could use the spell here that says it will erase anyone I choose from all memories if I scrub out Colonel Sanders. It would probably help me focus better on the upcoming final exam. That is way drastic. Couldn't you do something else, like anything else, not rooted in dark magic? Maybe tie a string around your finger? Okay, fine. It is drastic, but desperate times call for desperate measures. You've got a memory erasing spell sitting right in front of you, and a pretty good excuse to try it out. Don't do it. You take your friend's advice and put the book away. It's almost time for class. Sprinkle is already in the room, waiting for the students to arrive. He clears his throat to make the quick announcement. I want you all to know I feel something of a dog moment coming on, but I assure you it's nothing to be afraid of. His cute little nose scrunches up and begins to breathe quickly. Dogs can be rather unpredictable, especially Sprinkles. Wait to see what happens. He must be hungry. Reach for some old homework to keep him as a snack. Sprinkle stops in his tracks. He focuses on the window. The room is deadly silent. When you follow his gaze, a tiny orange squirrel perched on the cherry tree outside. Sprinkles turns feral, runs to the window of the classroom. He begins barking uncontrollably at the squirrel aside. Terrence, I told you not to come back here, Terrence. I will destroy you, Terrence. Sprinkles is barking ferociously, drool flying off his face. The squirrel looks over, but he doesn't say anything back. You wonder, is that even a talking squirrel? Who named him Terrence? You better not show your chubby cheeks around here ever again. After Sprinkles is satisfied that his presence has been felt by not only Terrence, but any other school in the hearing distance, he returns to his professional tone. I apologize for the outburst. This actually brings up an important point. Thank you, Chef Boyardee, for reminding me of the main toll out this and dispense a bit of wisdom. You see, before you can go any further, Miriam's love drama spills over into class. Sprinkles is interrupted by a sad whimpering coming from the back of the room. I told you to save it for after class, but I miss you. We went on one date, Pop. And how can you miss me when I'm right here? Pop's voice quivers as he pleads his kissing room. Every time I blink, you go away again. That's a really cute thing to say. Miriam, what happened between you and Pop? I got her in trouble and now she's mad at me. I didn't just get in trouble. I got yelled at by Pop's mom, who blames me for him getting banned from every museum we set foot in. Oh, so that's what you meant by shush house. Pop went on one date and we're over. And it meant so much to me that I made this for you. Turned to go arguing, Pop leaves his creation behind and runs out of the room. Nothing like a loud public breakup to cast a pal on the finest day of school. Well, that was unfortunate. But we mustn't be distracted by what's ahead. The final competition showdown challenge exam. I am still working on the title, but I think you get it. Test time approaches. See you all in the arena. But before you can think of your upcoming competition, there's a very beautiful soul nearby in need of a pep talk. Hey Miriam, are you okay? Okay, I'm so mad I could smash a tiny mug, spilling several droplets of hot cocoa all over the floor. How could he embarrass me in class like that, in front of everyone? Her tiny cocoa is a delicious treasure that you know this breakup is no joke, even if the source of her frustration is such a silly boy. I know that you know this, but I'm gonna say it out loud. You don't need anyone. Me and you, we're gonna cruise this final test and hit the carpool lane to Success City. Miriam brightens up, imagining the wind rushing through her short bangs, but she hesitates to embrace the feeling all over the way. You're not gonna saddle up with Colonel Sanders' stallion and ride off into the sunset without me? Of course not. Well, maybe, sort of, but I'm sure there's a pony out there with your name on it, and a ranch big enough for both of us and whoever else we want to bring along. And if it's not Pop or Clank or anyone else you meet today, tomorrow, or this whole year, so what? You're a special person. You shouldn't settle for the first someone to show a little interest anyhow. Miriam gives you a big hug and wipes the tears from her cheeks. I should really review my menu for today. I'm gonna make a very special soup. And I bet that Professor Dog is gonna love it. While you were pep-talking Miriam, you completely missed lunch, but that's okay. It gives you a better idea how to spend time before your exam. You decide to head to the arena early to practice a dish.